Recently, I was involved in the effects of COVID-19 on sports. But I think there's a bigger message than that, and there are greater concerns. But the fact of the matter is that it doesn't matter what is put in place by government. If we as individuals still cannot be responsible, and this is the key issue here, because we look and the feeling is almost as though COVID is not going to hit us or it's not so serious for us. But the fact still remains that how many people do you see wearing masks anymore? How many people do you see involved in best practices? You cannot blame the government for that. We have to look at ourselves. And here in Ghana Rugby and among sports people, we're saying, everybody, call your families, call your friends. I'm making an appeal to people that don't look to government. There's only so much that government can do to identify the problem in terms of stopping people coming into the country, in terms of quarantining, in terms of track tracing. And we've seen the numbers. I mean, after South Africa, we are about the next best in terms of testing, which is what we can do. After that, it is over to us. The simple dynamics of COVID-19 is that it started in the Far East. Then it is that they went onto immediate lockdown. From there, social distancing. We know that that is the only way we can actually manage this situation. It then went into Europe. It hit Italy, it hit Spain. By the time that they woke up in the UK, they now had over 40,000 people dead. By the time America then decided that it was only like a small flu, today nearly 100,000 people are dead. So the epicenter for this corona simply moved from the Far East to Europe. By the time that America was reacting, it then moved to America as the epicenter. The question is, what next? Is it Africa? I don't know. All I do know is that amidst all the misleading information, all the fear attacks, all the negativity, the only thing that is clear is that best practices is the only thing that can curb this. That is constant use of face masks if you're out in public, social distancing as a must, keep away from crowded areas, washing and sanitizing of hands, and so on and so forth. This is the only thing that's proven to take this thing under control. But what will it take for every one of us to speak to our families and tell them best practices? I'm just making an appeal, as I've made to the rugby family, I make to the sporting world, I make to Ghanaians at large. Why don't we do this for the next 30 days, 45 days? Let's see what is going to happen. Let's pray that the epicenter that has moved from the Far East through to Europe, through to America, through to Central and South America, does not move to Africa. This is my prayer. That our immune systems are so strong, that God has his own special light on Africa and not the rest of the world. These are things that we can pray for and we can hope for. But the reality is, we must start enforcing best practices at home, amongst friends, in our federations, in our institutions, at places at work, and in society in general. I am sure that the government will start easing up more and more in terms of what is permissible. That is normal. Without it, the country shuts down and we will never recover economically. But we have to work hand in hand to help in the process, to be more responsible, and take responsibility for our own lives and the lives of our children. It's just a little appeal from myself.